Welcome to Smart 24 TV, Driving Business. This is the Be Your Best show with Julius TORACH, your life coach. This show enables us to build a spirit of excellence for behavioral and mindset change, and to also enable the viewers to maximize their potential and ultimately to transform lives. We encourage the viewers to be their best in all spheres of life, including business, including family, including politics, including professional life and career. And today we would like to discuss excellence in business, personal life, and in all spheres of life. So to help me discuss this is a very special guest, whom I will request to introduce himself.
Thank you very much, Julius. My name is Moses WATASA. I work with the government of Uganda as the Commissioner for Communication and the Information Dissemination. That is in the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. My brief is to support my ministers and my permanent secretary to coordinate the government of Uganda communication function across ministries, departments, agencies, and even local governments across the country. We do formulate and implement policies that affect communication, but also the media in the country. We do some of these things directly, but some of them are done through our agencies like UCC, UBC, the Media Center, the Media Council, and the different communication units in the different government entities across the board. Of course, we also have the national guidance component, which is about guiding our people within and outside the government, people in the private sector, people in schools, people outside schools, so that we build values that are productive and that support our people across the board to fulfill the potential that lies in them. Remember, we also have the Vision 2040, which envisages a transformed Uganda, a Uganda that is futuristic, digital, with the low poverty levels, which is inclusive, which ensures that everyone prides in being Ugandan. So the national guidance function is to coach, to nurture, to instill values, to follow through the different actors across the board to ensure that whether you're in business, whether you're a professional like myself, whether you're in the formal sector, whether you're in manufacturing, whether you're in the informal sector, these small businesses, whether you're in Boda Boda, whether you're in a small trader on Johnson Street or in Mbale, in Arua, in Gulu. Because look, Julius, whether you're professional, whether you are a manufacturer, whether you are a small-time trader, there are basic values that define as to whether you actually succeed at what you do, or you are average, or you even fail. So the values of work, the work ethics, the way we conduct ourselves supports whichever endeavor you are in, whether you're a professional, whether you are a consultant, whether you are a corporate worker, whether you're a trader. There are those values that cut through, and as far as I know, they're the ones that actually differentiate between great and average or below average people. So those are there. The national guidance function is responsible for that. So we have the communication and national guidance, and incidentally, communication also supports national guidance, because you wouldn't get people to change. Like now we are talking about mindset change. You can only achieve that when you communicate with and engage with the people. And that's why His Excellency the President, in his wisdom, and rightly so, put these two together: communication, information dissemination, and national guidance, because you guide by engaging and communicating with the people at different levels. Even when you look at the programs like now we are talking about the parish model. It's at parish level, but we have to engage with the different actors at different levels. We have to have the beneficiaries under the parish model understand what it is about. But for their enterprises to succeed so that we reduce poverty, for example, they need things like trust. You should be trustable with the money government is giving you. You shouldn't use that money. If you are a man like me, Julius, they give you money today, maybe to start a poultry project and you marry another wife. That's where these things are failing from. I have seen young people in this country, Julius, someone has just left university, but he wants to drive a car of 60 million within 2 years. When will this person learn that you are supposed to save money? To save money, to also develop yourself and also probably support other people. Because you find this young person, maybe he works with a commercial bank or a telecom, maybe earns 2 or 3 million, but he wants to have a car of 60 million within 2 or 3 years. He's living in an apartment of 800,000 or 1 million. That's why we have the distress. People are living in debt. I know of some who are running from one rented house to another because they are living beyond their means. All these are guidance issues. You are a business person, but you don't have values. Some of the accidents we are having, like even on the roads as you see them, because transportation is business, but people don't value human life because your eyes is only on the money, but you forget that you are carrying maybe 60 or 62 people in your bus. You want to drive from Mbale, where I come from, to Kampala and do a return journey, and probably in a bus which is not again properly serviced, but your interest is only to optimize profits. Maybe your driver is actually tired. He has driven one way, the other. He went to sleep at probably midnight. He has not had enough sleep. But because we don't integrate values in business that we do. So in the process, if you have a bus of maybe 300 million rolling and getting written off, in the process you have shot yourself in the foot. So whether it is business, like I'm saying, or professionalism, or small traders on the streets, we need to have values of trust. We need to have values of patience. The other thing actually I should talk about, Julius, is the short-termism. You get young people, they want to if someone has worked for barely, he wants to dress like Julius, you are dressed. He wants to own a house like yours, yet you have been working probably for 20 years, and maybe you have been saving and been able to accumulate these. And that, Julius and our dear viewers, is what drives things you are increasingly seeing, like gambling, sports betting, because people, instead of appreciating the hard work, they think that if I go gambling, I might hit a jackpot and probably overnight become maybe a millionaire or a billionaire. There's nothing like that. And that's why even pyramid schemes, we've heard about them. Sometimes Bank of Uganda is cautioning people that if you put 1 million here, you're going to get 50 million within 3 months. I've never seen that kind of business, but it's because of the mindsets we have, including of even young people who think that you can invest today and within 3 weeks you are a millionaire, you are driving a big car, a 4-wheel drive, you are driving a Mercedes. No. All these things we need to deal with them, in my view, starting from the family, the community, places of work, in business places, places of worship, to instill moral values and the spirit of genuine hard work. And that's why, even in business here, you find someone owns one small shop, but is picking money from that shop almost every day. He doesn't know whether the shop has broken even, whether they are making any profits, but this guy is doing that. Then there are people even who are morally, morally doubtable. People are involved in relationships with people who work for them. Because if you do that, then how do you supervise this person? Once you do that, then whether you're a professional, whether you're a small business person, whether you're a manufacturer, you are putting the credibility and long-term success of your whatever endeavor at risk. So we need to have values. I don't do this. I don't get involved with my workers, as in relationships. I don't pull money out of my business unless it is dividends. You know, we've done it, they've audited the books and I'm receiving dividends. I need to separate myself, my person, from my business. And this is another reason why businesses, especially owned by especially indigenous Ugandans, because we don't separate ourselves. Because the business, you might start it, but the business is a business personality, as it is called in business. So you should know that it's wrong to go over the counter and pick money from there, or pick items and which you are not paying for, but in the process also showing the people who work for you that they can also pick items, because leadership is by example. So in my view, even us as government, we do implement programs for the benefit of the public. We need to have values. We need to know we are public servants. We exist to serve the public. So that's what should drive us. But some of us, we are not even accessible. People have come to see you. You say, I'm busy. Yet at the same time, you claim to be a public servant.
Yeah, Commissioner,
so there are many things there.
I wanted you to actually elaborate on that issue of work culture and ethics, which ultimately lead to excellence. What is your view about the standard of that?
My view is that we can improve the way we work. I mean, for example, frankly, if you look at the tourism sector, if you notice, there are so many people from neighboring countries. Even these hotels, if you go there, one of the neighboring countries, you'll find some of the people serving there from Kenya and the other neighboring countries. I have taken interest myself, talk to the managers and the owners of some of these big private companies. They will tell you that sometimes some of us, of course not all of us, the work ethic is less than appealing. If you are coming from a weekend, people want to come to office at 10 a.m. because they are coming from a weekend. Monday is a working day. But if you want to extend the weekend into a working day, then it's also a problem. You look at lunch hours, like us work in government, people want to extend lunchtime up to 3 p.m. When will you beat your deadlines? People don't put in a lot of heart, because especially us, some people believe, well, I'm permanent and pensionable, so whether I put in a lot or not, at the end of the month, I get my pay. That is also, there's also a problem there. Then there are amongst us individuals who look more at what they stand to benefit as individuals from these offices, other than the services they are supposed to deliver to the public. If you are delivering now like this, the parish model, we are supposed to deliver projects that improve incomes and livelihoods of people at household and community levels. But now, if you get the funds for the parish model and you divert them and go and build maybe a house in Chireka or wherever, that house alone has affected livelihoods of probably 300 people, because these people are supposed to come together and form maybe groups of 10 or 20, but you one person, because you are being selfish, other than thinking about the wider community benefit. Because when the community improves as a whole, everyone benefits. If we have people whose incomes are up, even the government collects more taxes. Mineral water, soda, even paraffin people consume. Most of the indirect taxes are consumption taxes. So in other words, if you are being selfish by diverting money which should empower and build other people, you are actually also cheating yourself. So as part of the work ethic, we need to understand the value of genuine earnings. My salary is so much. I operate this budget, but the budget is for delivering services to the people in Uganda, not for me to misappropriate and take my children to study in Sweden, in South Africa, in Malaysia. The budget is for the benefit of the people of this country. The budget is not for us to use for personal. The time in office is for us to attend to the people we serve, not for us to host our own visitors in office. I heard the president saying the other day that here you find someone comes and you say, what can I do for you? He says, I've just come to see you. So we also need to deal with that. Know that office time for work is time for work. If I want to have private meetings, we can do those maybe on the weekend or in the evening. Maybe we meet as family, but we shouldn't be squandering time for business, time for work to do things that are not related to either the business or the work. And for me, it goes even to, if you are in school, in a university or a high school, that time you use, I remember when I was in Amiliango College, our headmaster used to tell us that if you are in A level and you think I will come and drive you out of your hostel to go to the class, I will not do that. Because if you don't do that, the world is going to sort you out sooner than later. And I can tell our viewers that I've seen what the headmaster used to say come to life. The people who are not putting any effort now, some of them, unfortunately, are reaping the negative effects of the effort they didn't put in. So at whatever level, whether you're a student in school, you are starting your work, you should have heart for what you do. You need a plan. You need the personal targets. That if I'm working within 5 years, I should have saved some money, maybe to buy a small piece of land, because there will come a time when you're not in that office. Whether you want to grow professionally, you should understand your key result areas. In this job that I do, how does it fit in national objectives? I talked about the Vision 2040, we have the National Development Plan 3, we have the manifesto of the NRM government. What is my contribution to those aspirations, and what is written in my work plan? You shouldn't have anyone pushing you in order for you to do this. And it is from that work that you eventually join as an officer. You can be promoted to a senior, you are promoted to a principal, an assistant commissioner, until finally you become a head of department like I am. It doesn't come because I have not done anything. I have to do my work, because it is out of those measurables that you are due for promotion from one stage to another. And in my view, even business, there's a reason why some businesses collapse. Actually, I was reading a report that in Uganda, the bulk of the businesses collapse before their third birthday. So we are a highly entrepreneurial country, but most of the businesses, over 50% of them, don't live beyond 3 years. That means there are things we are not doing right. There are things we need to revisit. Actually, in my view, we also need mentors, because whatever you aspire to do in your life, someone else has done it. So we need a learning spirit. You know, some of us have big egos. We think we know everything. There's no one who knows everything. We need to humble ourselves and continue learning. If you're in business, talk to people who have done what you do. There's something practical you can learn from them. If you are in a formal job like me, talk to people. I am not the first person to be a commissioner. I can actually share that as I was aspiring to be commissioner, I went to talk to a permanent secretary who was once a commissioner. So I asked him, what does the position of commissioner entail? I have an interview to do in about 2 weeks' time. He took me through that. He prepared me, gave me a broad spectrum of what I can expect, and I can say that is partly what helped me to go through the selection process, because I humbled myself. This gentleman has been where I want to go. So definitely there are things he knows that I may not know right now, and I discovered there was a lot that I had to learn from him. So if you are into, let's say, fish processing, there are people who have processed fish before. If you are a a banker, you are not the first banker here in Uganda. There are bankers who have come, some have become CEOs. How did they become CEOs? If your aspiration is to become a CEO, talk to them. What things do they do? What can you learn from them as individuals? How do they manage their personal, you know, the schedules? How do they manage them? What does the CEO do the first thing in the morning? How do you organize? How do you do all these things? If you are a CEO of a bank with the 15 branches, how do you do it? Because you don't just become CEO, you grow organically to become a CEO. So I think some of us have a temptation to be proud and have big egos and think that we are the best. No, everyone learns because learning never stops. You can do some short courses, I've done them. Like now, technology keeps changing all the time. Because when I left university and we were young journalists here in town, there was the new vision. There was the UTV, because UBC came later. So journalism meant that you're either in print or on TV or on radio. Then now there's this whole digital revolution in the country. Anything, everyone now is a journalist. If someone boxes another person here, that news will be all over the world before we leave this room. So it means even the skills, you need to upgrade your skills. If you are a communication person like me, you need to upgrade your skills working with digital, social media, Twitter, there's now TikTok, Instagram. Because that time, the tools were limited, but now as technology evolves and changes, you have to continue learning. Some of the skills we were using in 1996 when I left university are no longer applicable because of the changed terrain in the communication, landscape, not just in Uganda, but also around the world. So for you to stay relevant and to continue progressing, learning cannot stop. You have to continue learning, talk to peers, who is doing what. In government, we have what we call a communication forum, which brings together all communication persons in government. Every month, we meet to brainstorm and share from each other. You had a challenge like this. How did you resolve it? How did you come out of it? You went through a crisis. How did you apply crisis communication to come out of it? Because we know everyone can potentially have a crisis to deal with. So we keep sharing experiences so that we learn and keep equipping ourselves with emerging skill sets so that we are more effective, more efficient, but also more relevant in the interventions that we evolve as communications people. Then, of course, there are things like leadership, because now, as you go up, you might be a communicator like me, but you're also becoming a leader. So you also need to sharpen your leadership skills. How do you manage people? Issues of emotional intelligence. Some of us are extremely rough with other people. We don't treat other people as human beings because we think we are managers and leaders. No. Everyone in an organization has a role to play. That's why they are there in the first place. So we need to continue also learning, become effective leaders who can lead, rally, but also motivate other people. Because as a leader or manager, you achieve results through other people. So we need, again, as leaders, to continue learning, whether you're in the private sector, whether you're either you're a headmaster of a school, you're a leader, you have teams that you have to mobilize, get the best out of these teams, which will, in the end, if you're a school or institution, will be reflected in the performance of your school. As they do these either national or regional examinations, the results are a net reflection of how well an institution has been managed. If it's a private company, the profitability levels and the dividends you declare. If it's a government institution like the one I work for, there are those deliverables. Like I said, against Vision 2040, the NDP3, the manifesto of NRM, we have 5 years in which to implement all the commitments that the president delivered, or rather promised to the people of this country. So how will you deliver that if you are a leader who doesn't work well, support, motivate and get the best out of the teams you are working with. Because you might be a leader, but you are one person who is working with various actors, probably within a ministry, but also within a sector, which is part of the whole government, to deliver the commitments of the government under the manifesto, but also the National Development Plan. You wouldn't do that if you are not a team person. You don't mobilize, you don't mentor, you don't coach, you don't support, you don't follow through, you don't monitor, you don't evaluate over time to ensure that you are on course. So for me, again, whether school, private company, small business, you need all those things. You need to document even what you do. The reporting is critical. Sometimes in Uganda or in Africa, our reporting is not very good. We do things, probably are doing them right, but you are not documenting them. So you don't have a reference point if you want to, say, assess your performance over 3, 4, even 5 years. But now, even all these programs, like the parish model I've talked about, people should document basic bookkeeping. This side is my expenditure. This side is my income. Just that. So you know that this year, this is what I made, because you are going to add on that as you implement whatever project you are doing. So all of those are some of the things that, some of the things that can make a difference, whether at personal endeavor, whether at business or corporate or entrepreneur, the sole proprietor. We need all these things.
As Commissioner, you have well elaborated on the issues of the values and also how to build that culture and the spirit of excellence from training, continuous learning, mentorship and coaching and all this. They are really quite useful. Now the other issue is about personal networks, building networks of various kinds that probably can help in building someone. Can you give some comment about that as well?
Absolutely. Thanks, Julius, for bringing that one up. There's a saying that your net worth equals your network, or your network equals your net worth. Your net worth is what you have. It's like a balance sheet. My debts are this way, my income is this way, my net worth is either a profit or a loss. Now, why do we need this? Because, for example, for me to feature on this program, I was reached by someone who knows me. And by the way, I'm very happy to be on this program because I know that there are so many people who watch smart TV. But it didn't just happen out of nowhere. It's because it's part of my network that I got the opportunity to be here. So this means that, and I want especially young people to note this, there are people out there you might be treating badly because you think you are better than them, but time will come when the tables are turned. This guy is the other side. He might be the one you need tomorrow to probably open up a business opportunity or a job potential. You need a recommendation, or you need someone who can introduce you to probably a selection team. So networking is one of the biggest assets that, for me, one of the things, even at personal level, assuming you're organizing a wedding and you set a date, you are not going to be a best man for yourself. Or if you are a lady, you are not going to be a matron. These days they are called a bride of honor. You need the people to do for you things like decorations. You need people to organize for you transport. You need even people to go with you for introduction. Because here, the weddings normally come after the traditional introductions. You will not go with yourself. You will go with probably some of your workmates, some of your people, the people you went to school with, either university or secondary school or primary school, or some of your neighbors, some of your current workmates, some of the previous workmates, some of professional friends, if you belong to professional associations like I do, for communicators, public relations officers, managers. In government we have these fora for medium and top level managers. All those and others should be part of your network which supports you, because the real point is that none of us is an island. If you think about it, almost everything we do, you do it because you have worked with someone at some level. So I really want to emphasize the need and the need to consciously nurture networks, retain them, expand them, because this world, in my experience, is a very small place. Everywhere you go, I walk around, everywhere you'll find someone who knows you. There's a time I was in one of the offices, looking for something there, and I was running, I had other meetings. Then someone I had actually taught in these postgraduate programs said, Mr. Watasa, what are you looking for here? I want this document signed. Quickly, I saved some time. So nothing really works easily unless we build and nurture and maintain good, either professional, family, business. It's about partnerships. If you're in business, it's even more that you do this, because you have customers, you have suppliers, you have providers of these like utilities that you use, you have lenders, there are people, because businesses also borrow money. So if you cannot harness partnerships and networks, how will you survive as a business person?
That is a good point.
There are even your consumers out there who you don't know. So you should ensure that you reach out and you are good to people generally, because it's out of that you derive your business.
Dear viewers, you're still watching Smart 24 TV, the Be Your Best show with JULIUS, your life coach. And we are with the Commissioner for Information and Communication at the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, Mr. Moses WATASA. So we take a short break and continue discussing personal, business, and professional excellence.